What if every desire you have ever felt, whether love, success, or deeper meaning, was actually a sacred messenger trying to guide you towards your highest evolution? In our modern world, we're taught to either indulge our desires mindlessly or suppress them completely, but the wisdom of the heart chakra offers us another path. The art of embodied love. What if you could learn to alchemize your deepest longings through the power of your heart, turning raw desire into the pure gold of embodied creation? You're listening to or watching the Sedona Soul Sisters show, where we share psychic guidance and healing for embodied spiritual awakening. I'm Christel Arcucci, and I'm on a mission to support spiritual practitioners to access your intuition, unlock your psychic gifts, and live your purpose. A big thanks to all our listeners all over the world, and a special shout out and a boost of love to our listeners in Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. And while my last name is Arcucci, which is Italian, I am 25% Swedish. My father's mother was born in Sweden and came to the US on a ship when she was 6 years old. You can schedule virtual jumping timelines, sensual hypnosis sessions, purpose coaching, and energy healing with me at SedonaSoulSisters.com. Each breath you take aligned with love repairs the healing web on planet Earth. I'm excited to invite you to join the free Manifest with Desire series, where we unlock the power of your deepest longings to create the life you've always dreamed of and transform your desires into reality. If you'd like to receive all of the resources from the entire free podcast series, visit manifestwithdesire.com and enter your name and email. As we begin this sacred exploration, place one hand on your heart center and one hand on your belly, and take gentle, deep breaths, allowing each exhale to soften any barriers around your heart space. Feel the gentle beating of your heart and the pulsing of your own life force as we set the intention to approach our desires with curiosity, compassion, and wisdom. May this episode serve as a gateway to understanding the transformative power that lives within your heart chakra, the Anahata, the seat of divine love and conscious creation. The heart chakra holds a profound secret that mystics and seekers have discovered. It is the sacred alchemical chamber where our raw desires can be transformed into pure conscious creation. Where we learn to process our longings through the heart's wisdom, we access the level of manifestation that serves not only our highest good, but the greater good of all beings. Working with the heart chakra allows us to transmute feelings of lack, separation, and attachment into experiences of abundance, connection, and freedom. By mastering this inner alchemy, we unlock our ability to create from a place of love rather than fear, bringing forth projects, relationships, and experiences that are naturally aligned with our soul's deepest truth. Rumi said, "What you are seeking is seeking you." This is the most common translation I've heard. It speaks to the interconnectedness of all things and the idea that the universe conspires to bring us what we truly desire. Although in Farsi, the original language of Rumi's poetry, the meaning is closer to what you seek is with you. This subtle difference opens up a whole new perspective. Instead of imagining our desires as external things coming towards us, this translation suggests that what we're looking for is already within us or beside us. It's not about waiting for something or someone to find us, but about recognizing what's already there. For more information about the chakra, you can visit the Sedona Soul Sisters episode 165, The Empathy Revolution, Mastering Clear Empathy with Heart Chakra Healing. The heart chakra sits at a pivotal spot in our energy system, where raw desire from the lower chakras meets the higher spiritual wisdom of the upper chakras. This unique position makes it a natural alchemist, of our entire manifestation process. Think of it as a divine filter. When our desires pass through the balanced heart chakra, they become refined and aligned with our highest good rather than our ego's temporary wants. What makes this so powerful for manifestation is threefold: emotional coherence, wisdom discernment, and divine love integration. Emotional coherence. The heart generates the body's strongest electromagnetic field. When our desires resonate with our heart's truth, we broadcast a clearer signal out to the universe. Emotional alignment amplifies our manifestation power by creating internal harmony. Wisdom discernment. The heart chakra helps us distinguish between desires that serve our growth versus temporary cravings. It acts as a bridge to integrate material wants and spiritual purpose. This discernment prevents us from manifesting experiences that may ultimately cause suffering. Divine love integration. The heart transforms fear-based desires into love-based creation. It infuses our manifestation with compassion, making them more sustainable. Heart-aligned desires naturally consider the highest good of all involved. When we bypass the heart and try to manifest directly from our will or mind, we often create outcomes that feel hollow or eventually lead to complications. The heart chakra teaches us that true manifestation isn't about forcing desires into reality. It's about allowing our desires to be transformed through love into their highest expression. Consider how this works in practice. Instead of manifesting a new relationship from a place of loneliness or lack, the heart chakra helps us first cultivate self-love and wholeness. From this foundation, we naturally attract relationships that reflect this higher vibration. Similarly, rather than manifesting wealth from scarcity, the heart chakra helps us align with abundance consciousness, leading to opportunities that serve both our prosperity and our purpose. The heart chakra reminds us that manifestation isn't just about getting what we want. It's about becoming vessels through which divine love can express itself in form. When we learn to work with this sacred center, our desires become prayers and our manifestations become offerings to the greater good. The heart center, called the Anahata in Sanskrit, is the center of the chest. It opens to the front, the back, above connecting to the throat chakra, and below connecting into the solar plexus. It is most commonly associated with the air element and the color green. An important part to remember in looking at the heart chakra is that the hands are the extension of the heart. As we focus on the heart center, keeping in mind the arms all the way to the hands are predominantly in the heart center. Of course, the shoulders and the neck connect into the throat, but the main center that the arms and hands are connected to is the heart, which is such a powerful reminder of how we are utilizing our hands as extensions of the heart. One of the biggest challenges in modern society, in my opinion, is the lack of healthy and platonic touch. Yes, sensuality and sexual touch is important, yet I think we are in a point of crisis where we are not receiving enough healthy, platonic, meaning sexually neutral touch from our friends, from our families, from ourselves. This is a powerful way of working to heal the heart center, is first working with the ways that you are using your hands in healthy touch with your own body first, and then working in relationship with other people for how can we create more healthy, supportive, loving touch, which is an extension of our hearts, our ability to connect with other people. And keeping in mind that I am a longtime body worker and a touch person and I recognize that not all people love touch. I still think it's so important to practice discovering what touch feels best to us. And again, in this conversation, I'm focused on platonic, friendly, safe touch and finding what that is. For you, finding that place that you want to be met, what kind of touch you want to connect with other people. And this simple practice of using touch as a vehicle for healing the heart center and connecting in with your desires, like tuning in this moment, inquiring to yourself, what kind of platonic touch do I most enjoy giving and receiving? And there are very few environments in my experience. And again, I'm a long time body worker, right? I started learning hands-on touch professionally when I was 18, which is over 30 years ago. So I am often in high touch environments and trainings where we are being taught to touch and be touched in the process. And so the general public isn't in those environments to discover what feels good to you in touch. What kind of touch do you most crave? How do you touch your own body? Do you touch your own body in a way that feels good to you? When you place your hands on your body, is there a two-way connection? Meaning that your hand is feeling your leg and your leg is feeling your hand. And building this connection with your own body helps us turn our attention inward. And going back to the Rumi quote, what you are seeking is with you. Many of the issues of modern overconsumption and unhealthy consumerism is this desire that something or someone outside of me is going to fill my needs or distract me from what I truly feel. So in working with self-touch first as a way to deeply connect into what you desire, in being with yourself, in going inward to discover your heart's deepest longings, and then learning to communicate them first with yourself and then with the people closest to you. And while this sounds simple as I'm speaking it, I'm sure you know that this practice of knowing what we want, asking for what we want, receiving what we want, enjoying what we want, communicating how we want to be touched, listening to someone else tell us how they want to be touched, all of this can be a charged topic and challenging. And that's why being with yourself, being with your own desires, learning to be more comfortable and confident in your body, in your own heart, with your own desires, discovering that what you are seeking is within you, then it changes everything, that our focus turns inward before we go outward. Rather than so much of consumerism has us chasing the carrot on a stick, always seeking something external to satisfy us, which is unlikely to satisfy. Yet, if I first go inward and deeply connect with my desire, my deep desire to have a movement and recording studio, going inward then guides my external actions. And it is that combination, is part of the great alchemy of the heart center, is integrating the power of creation through the throat, the visionary of the third eye, the crown chakra connection to infinity with the lower chakras, the root, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus in the physical realm, is bringing the physical and our divinity together in the heart to tap into what we truly desire from a place of deep connection inward, so that when we are building, creating, receiving in the external, in the world, it is from a deep place of connection and not from the chasing the hungry ghost of I need the next thing to satisfy me, and when I have it, I will no longer enjoy it. This power of working with our heart centers and touching ourselves and the world around us deeply with the power of the heart, and this alchemy of bringing together our manifest lives, our material human bodies and lives with the highest possible vision. Then as we work with the heart center, incredible miracles happen. In working with the heart center and desire, I have predominantly focused with touch on the physical aspects of our being and our desires, which can include, I want to remodel my house, I want a different car, I want to travel the world. It's physical things or places that we deeply desire. Then looking at also the mental, emotional, energetic, and spiritual desires. The beautiful aspect of working with the heart center is that we are deeply connecting inward to our own physical desires, to our emotional longings, to our mental aspirations, to our energetic inspiration for what we want to experience and create, and our spiritual desires. When we are working with the multiple levels of our desire and manifestation and working through the different chakras to find where the obstacles live, we can quickly become clear where the obstacles live in our manifestation process. Like when I imagine my hands touching the floor of the movement and recording studio, I feel so excited. I am a sacral generator if you're at all into human design. So that means the sacral chakra for me is an incredible center for me to tune into and to utilize the energy that imagining me physically being in this movement and recording studio and me touching the walls and the floor and the equipment and being there lights up my body. And I feel it physically in my body to imagine being there, which then of course brings in the emotional aspects, the mental aspects, and the spiritual and the energetic aspects of this desire of not only my heart, but literally my whole system. Although for me, when I start thinking about how it's going to happen, then I quickly shut down my energetic system. Yet some people will have a different response. For you, it may be totally different, that in focusing on the third eye, in focusing on the power of the mind to bring your manifestation into being, it may be the easiest path for you. Where for me, when I was feeling the physicality of this movement and recording studio, I was totally lit up. But then as I moved higher, when I put my attention more in the third eye chakra, then my override mind started kicking in and questions were spinning in my mind, but it quickly shut down the feeling of this is what I really want. Like once for me, the override mind kicked in, the monkey mind started running around with this idea and being like, well, what does that mean? How is that going to make money? And how is this going to be good? And how is this all going to happen? This is just a crazy dream. It totally wrecked the whole excitement that I physically felt in my body being excited about this movement and recording studio. And I have no idea how this is going to happen. And I also think it's fascinating that I'm sharing this on the podcast, because then you will hear about it at some point down the road. What has come of this desire? In the episode, it might have been the sacral center that I was talking about. Let's pick an example, and I just made it up, so to speak, on the spot. It wasn't something that I had thought about ahead of time. And what came forward was, I want a movement and recording studio. And since then, I have decided that my office is going to be, you guessed it, a movement and recording studio. So this is space in my home that is already here. but it was filled with things that did not facilitate it being a movement and recording studio. So now I have made so much progress since that episode in creating this space in my home that I already have. This is coming to manifestation in just a few weeks. And yes, I do have a deeper desire for it to be a bigger space, for me to be able to facilitate groups there. And yes, that desire is still there. Yet here's the thing that is so important in this entire series and connecting with your desires is to be open to what is possible now. What is the fastest path to bring some level of your manifestation into being? So a part of me could be like, well, my office is really small. It's not going to be that good. I can't bring clients here. I could make all of these excuses about why doing that isn't it. It isn't exciting to me. And for me, that didn't happen. I just was like, this is amazing. This is great. This is going to happen. This is going to manifest in just a few weeks. From I didn't even know this was a desire I wanted into probably by next week, probably sooner, because when I get these kind of things, I can make them happen pretty quickly. I'm recording this on Wednesday. Probably by Sunday, my new movement and recording studio will be ready. And is it this big grand vision of it? No. But is it going to excite me? Is it going to light me up and turn me on in the way and get me excited and into creative motion, into a momentum and life force energy moving through me and creating? Yes, absolutely. And I think because I am willing to do this stepping stone, right, to work with what I already have available, I believe that the bigger vision of whatever is going to manifest next, which my vision may evolve as this is unfolding, I don't know, and I'm not attached. It's not going to be like, well, I said on the podcast that this is what I'm creating, and so this is what it has to be, because this is truly deeply about what I desire and what lights me up and what turns me on in this next phase and chapter of my work. And so by the next episode, I will have a movement and recording studio in my home. Yay! And then we will see what evolves and unfolds from there. And as I am speaking about this, I still feel the excitement of this for me is more in my sacral chakra and my root. And when I tune into my heart center, there's a way in which my heart needs to have the actual space and the practice of me giving myself that space of expression for it to truly open and expand and express in the way that I deeply desire. One of the incredible things about creating and publishing this podcast and my other podcasts this year is the personal transformations that I have when my focus is contributing to you. And the beautiful thing about this is I am receiving so much in this process of creating because I am continuing to focus on what I am most excited about and what can benefit you so that we all are being supported through this process. And I continue to be amazed at how much it is transforming for me. And it's also fascinating to know that I am recording these episodes. So it'll be interesting at some point to be able to look back and see from the future, looking back at this, what was created by me having this inspiration to create this Manifest with Desire series, which was inspired by the Ecstatic Empath series, was inspired by me wanting to write a book and wanting to publish the podcasts regularly and keep things going. This web of desires and inspiration and creation has been incredible. So I am so grateful that you are on this journey with me. And I think it's interesting to highlight, as I've been speaking about the heart center and utilizing this movement and recording studio, this deep desire in my body that is so alive, that there's a way in which I have let my own heart down so many times, that there's a way in which my heart is like, I will believe it when you create it. And it feels like this is going to be such an incredible opportunity for me to show up for me to turn towards my desires and to be like, what is possible for me to do now? Right? Like creating this movement and recording space in my own home with things I already have. It's not some big complicated vision that needs $1 million in funding. Maybe at some point it will become that. Who knows? Stay tuned to find out. But for now, it's like being able to fuel the desires of my entire body, mind, and being, and to discover what is going to unfold and open because I am willing to turn inward, to discover what is possible, to discover what I am seeking I didn't even know, and that it's with me. It's in the next room. It's incredible. And I know without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that what is going to come from me paying attention to my own desires, to also pay attention to my own heart's resistance to believing me. That's kind of intense, to be like, my own heart is telling me I'll believe it when you actually create it. I'll jump on board and give my full heart to you when you prove it. Because how many times have I had great ideas and not followed through? A lot. And so this is an incredible opportunity for healing. And I hope that in sharing my own experience, that in focusing on the heart center, in seeing how healing this will be for my heart to receive this creative movement space for me to explore, for me to express, for me to be with myself in a way that I am longing for now on many levels. Let's transition into the self-inquiry questions. When you connect with a desire that feels both exciting and frightening, what sensations arise in your heart center, and what stories does your mind create about allowing yourself to want this fully? How has your relationship with desires been shaped by love wounds from the past? And in what ways might your heart be protecting you from fully opening to your deepest longings? What would become possible in your life if you allowed your heart to transform your raw desires rather than either indulging or suppressing them? How would this shift your way of creating? When you reflect on the desires that have shaped your path, which ones have served as messengers guiding you towards growth? And how did your heart's wisdom play a role in that journey? Thank you for being a part of our community. I'm honored to support your embodied spiritual awakening. If you are interested in the companion healing journey to this episode, visit the Desire Sessions podcast, episode number 67, The Alchemy of Heart-Centered Desire, a Hypnotic Journey. If you're interested in working directly with me, I invite you to join me for a sensual hypnosis desire session by phone. A unique blend of hypnosis, energy healing, and jumping timelines will align the power of your conscious and unconscious desires with your soul purpose, igniting a powerful force for manifestation in your life. Ready to unlock the full potential of your desires? Visit desiresession.com to book your personalized transformative journey to live the life of your dreams. Leave a review and follow on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, breathe gently, listen to your guidance, and create miracles.